data analysis plan. How do you do the secondary data analysis? So, Monalisa, can you please confirm whether my PPT is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have to. Huh. Now it is visible, right? On full screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, abstract is something which we had discussed a little in one of the lectures, I think. But this is something which is one of the very important aspect of any article, any research thesis. If you are writing any kind of report that you are writing, for everything you definitely need to write an abstract. Okay, abstract in general word or in a layman's language, it is kind of a aina of your like your thesis or your paper. ये काइंड ऑफ आरसा है, आईना है, जो मिरर ऑफ योर काइंड ऑफ thesis. So before you jump into the entire thesis, before you jump into the entire 10 pages 20 pages abstract, you should first read the abstract before getting into the entire 10 12 15 20 pages paper. You can definitely read out the abstract, and then you can understand the gist of that paper, the picture of that paper. Once you understand through abstract, you are at the position whether to read that particular article or thesis entirely or not. You get quite good clarity whether to go through on and spend your lot of time in that particular article or not. Because in the research domain, in the academic domain, or in the nowadays internet world, you have thousands and lakhs of papers, right, on different research ideas or research paper, different research problems. Thousands of papers. If you just like put one keyword, you will definitely get at least 100 results of that particular one word. So आप उसको लेकर, या फिर if you are writing, if you are searching something, for example livelihoods, or like women empowerment. Tomorrow is a women's international women's day. So if you are typing women's empowerment in India, or maybe issues and challenges in women's empowerment in India, ये अगर टाइटल आपने अगर सर्च किया किसी भी पोर्टल पे, आपको कितने सारे स्टडीज मिल जाएंगे उससे, उसको लेकर, मतलब कम से कम 1,000 तो स्टडीज आराम से मिल जाएंगे, राइट? सो आप चाहे उसी टॉपिक के रिलेटेड स्टडी भी कर रहे हो, फिर भी यू डेफिनेटली नीड टू लाइक स्क्रूटिनाइज दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम और पेपर, लाइक द लिटरेचर. जब आप स्क्रूटिनी करते हैं, तब आपको एक्चुअल और एग्जैक्ट relevant papers only will you will be able to read, right? So इसकी वजह से आपको क्या करना है, हमेशा abstract जो है, that has to be you should thoroughly read out, and then once you read the abstract, you will definitely get a picture of that particular paper, and then you decide whether to read that fully or not. ठीक है? So in short, abstract is a short summary of a longer work. आपका जो बड़ा काम है उसका एक शॉर्ट समरी है, जो आपको इट इज काइंड ऑफ अ टीजर और मे बी ट्रेलर ऑफ अ पिक्चर, है ना? पिक्चर का जो ट्रेलर होता है, उससे हमको बहुत सारी चीजें समझ में आती है ना. ट्रेलर देख के भी बहुत सारे लोग क्या करते हैं, पूरा पिक्चर देखना है या नहीं देखना है डिसाइड करते हैं. सो इट इज लाइक दैट ओनली. आप समरी पढ़ने के बाद, शॉर्ट समरी पढ़ने के बाद ही डिसाइड करोगे कि वो पूरा आर्टिकल पढ़ना है या नहीं पढ़ना है. So this is how you should be also able to write your abstract. आपका abstract भी एकदम ऐसे ही होना चाहिए जो आपके पूरे वर्क का जिस्ट दे सके. So the abstract concisely reports the aims and outcomes of your research. so that readers know what exactly your paper is about. So you are stating in your abstract, you are stating that like what are the aims and outcomes of your research, what exactly you have written in your paper or in your thesis, so that people, those who are reading your abstract, those who intend to read your abstract or your book or maybe your thesis, they will get to know what exactly you're talking about, and they will decide whether to go ahead or not, right? So it should be concise, it should be very very pinpointing, it should not be super longer, it should not again become a article only, it should be short as much as possible, it should be to it should be, I mean, quite short, but इतना भी short नहीं होना चाहिए जिससे वो आपका जो मैसेज है वो कन्वे ना कर पाए, right? An abstract summarizes usually in one paragraph of 300 words or less the major aspects of entire paper in a prescribed sequence that includes the overall purpose of the study. You should be able to write the overall purpose of the study at the beginning of your abstract, and the research problem, what exactly the problem that you have investigated, what exactly the problem that you have studied, that you should be able to tell in a crispy manner, in a short manner. Then you should, the second, third, or maybe in the second paragraph itself, you can start writing the basic design of your study, how that study was conducted, what was the primary research methods that you have used, and how like kind of why, and what was the reason behind choosing that particular methods. Okay, so that you should be able to write there. Okay, then major findings or trends that are like that came out from your research. So what were the major findings, what were the, I mean, you should not be able to, you should not tell what exactly, I mean, you should not even give a पूरा पिक्चर ही उसमें नहीं देना है. मतलब आपका ऐसे भी ये तैयार करने की, मतलब एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में ये भी चीज होनी चाहिए कि मतलब जैसे इसमें ट्रेलर में कैसे वो पिक्चर देखने जैसा ये किया जा सकता है. सो यू शुड बी ऑल्सो, आई मीन, यू शुड बी सो क्रिएटिव इन राइटिंग एन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट where people are, you know, uh, like lalcha rahe to read your entire book or entire thesis or entire article. So that is kind of creative writing should be there in the abstract, so that like immediately by reading your abstract, people will be greedy to read your entire paper as well. So fourth point is a brief summary of your interpretations and conclusions. So maybe this includes some kind of recommendation or maybe way forward or maybe the future scope of the study. So maybe brief summary at the end, like the fourth point should be of like summary of your interpretations or maybe conclusions. So largely what happens, it is also depends कि आपको abstract कितना आपके conferences, most of the times what happens, the publication houses, the journals, or most of the times even conferences nowadays, they are clearly defining the word limit for the abstracts. So most of the times they are saying that like what 250 words abstract should be sent. Sometimes 200 words abstract should be sent. Sometimes they will not define that how many words should be there. So in those cases you should not go beyond 300 words. That should be the maximum size of your abstract, right? So largely the journals or the publication houses, they definitely define what how many words in your abstract should be there. And in case if they have not defined it, then you should write an abstract, but it should not even beyond 300 words. Okay, so mostly what happens, there is often a strict word limit, so make sure to check the relevant requirements. So you definitely have to check the requirements of each and every journal, that like how much longer abstract or how much longer like summary of your work they will need. So otherwise if you go beyond, no, sometimes they reject it. Recently what happened, I'll give an example of my one of my projects that I have applied, international project, जिसमें मैंने I had applied and it was a very good call, as well as one of the very prestigious project I had applied, and there was a word limit of 1800 words. So what I thought, in our in general or layman's or in a common thoughts, what we see that like दो चार words या चार पांच या 10 words ज्यादा होते तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, वो कम ज्यादा चल सकते हैं. So keeping that casual thought in my mind, what I did, I extended my like that particular concept note of like around just 15 or 20 odd words. So 1820 words approximately were there in my that concept, for which I took at least 1.5 months to prepare that concept. So what happened, and I waited for that particular result for almost 6 to 7 months, उसका रिजल्ट आने के लिए. 50 lakhs का वो प्रोजेक्ट था और मैं उसका वेट कर रहा था, एंड वर्ड लिमिट था 1800. बट मैंने कैजुअली क्या किया, 1820 वर्ड्स कुछ तो ज्यादा हो रहा था, तो मैंने उसको इग्नोर कर दिया. आफ्टर 6 months 7 months I have got an email saying that you have crossed the word limit of the concept. Thereby, your concept was not considered for the review. देखो कितना बड़ा मिस्टेक था वो. मतलब मैंने कुछ ज्यादा कुछ किया था क्या, 10-15 वर्ड्स मुझे लगा कि क्या चल सकता है. But these research organizations, some of the publication houses, some of the conferences also are so particular about their guidelines. If you break their guidelines, they will reject your thought, even though it is कितना भी अच्छा होने दो. Doesn't matter. They will first scrutinize that whether the author have followed the clear instructions or not. If you have not followed clear instructions, they will reject it. So thereby I am saying your abstract should be as per the instructions given by the this one, the publication group. So मेरा जो मैंने एग्जांपल दिया वो 1800 वर्ड्स का जो ये था लिमिट था. इफ आई वुड हैव रिटन लेस देन 1800 वर्ड, दैट वुड हैव बीन द बेस्ट थिंग. मतलब 1890 वर्ड्स 1790 हो सकते थे, या फिर 1750 भी हो सकते थे. आई कुड हैव इजीली रिड्यूस्ड देम, राइट? But I didn't do that. I took it casual. I submitted it. I worked for almost 1.5 months for that, waited for 6 to 7 months, and the result came that like your abstract had been have not been considered for the review. So that was kind of a huge disappointment meant for me, because that call comes once in a year only. So मुझे वो opportunity नहीं मिल पाया, right? So ऐसे आपके केस में नहीं होना चाहिए. इसलिए आई एम सेइंग दैट लाइक abstract is something very very important. At the same time, the instructions that are there of any journal or any university also, or any publication house, should be followed, and you should definitely be abide to that only. ठीक है? Then as I said, there should be steps. So what should be there in the introduction, what should be there in methods, what should be there in results, discussion, and keywords. So your introduction of your abstract should be like, start by clearly defining the purpose of your research. What practical and or theoretical problem does the research respond to? Or what research question did you aim to answer? So here what it says, the introduction should be so clear and precise. Here you don't go with a very vague ideas, very macro thought about your research problem and all. Nothing. What exactly you have done in that, or you wanted to do in that? What was the exact research problem? उसको प्रिसाइजली एंड क्लियरली आपको लिखना है। उसका ऐसे इधर उधर से ऐसे जो बड़े बड़े हम लोग ये करते हैं, कुछ कोट्स लेते हैं या कुछ समटाइम्स वी टेक सम रेफरेंसेस आल्सो और कोटेशंस आल्सो, डोंट डू दैट। Start what exactly you have done. Assume that people are already aware about the problem. So what exactly you are studying about, what exactly you are writing about should be written very precisely and very concisely, clearly. Okay? Then second step is methods. Indicate the research methods that you use to answer your question. So definitely we always, whenever, like now also you are into the like different phases of your research, right? So you, whichever method or whichever tool or whichever anything that you are applying in your research as a methodology, you definitely have a logic behind it, right? You definitely have a rationale behind it. So go by the same rationale here as well while writing it. It should be convinced to the researcher as well, I mean reader as well. So this particular problem was there. This was the problem. This was the question for which this method was most applicable. So this part should be a straightforward description of what you did in one or two sentences only. यहाँ पे भी बहुत ज्यादा ऐसे घुमाना नहीं है, डिस्क्रिप्टिव नहीं करना है. It is usually written in the past simple tense as it refers to completed actions. Getting my point? Should be written in past, simple past tense. You should be able to tell that like this was conducted, these actions were taken, and that's how it should be put forward. Okay. Then third step is, or third part of your abstract should be results. Summarize the main research results. The overall, I mean exactly, आपके research में 100 variables अगर रहेंगे, if you have 100 variables in your research, you should not, I mean your all 100 variables will not address the exact research problem, right? They are all, most of them are peripheral research results. So what exact, which are those some of those very very pertinent variables, or which are those very very pertinent results that are overall coming out of your research, should be summarized in just brief and concise manner again here. This part of the abstract can be the present or simple tense, simple past tense. यहाँ पे आपका प्रेजेंट टेंस में या फिर पास्ट टेंस में जा सकता है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द फाइंडिंग्स ऑफ योर रिसर्च. Okay, so this has to be kept in mind while writing your abstract. This result is something which is very very important, and of course people will be definitely interested in your results at the most. Then discussion is something, finally you should discuss the main conclusions of your research. What is your research, or what is your answer to the problem or question? The reader should finish with a clear understanding of the central point that your research has proved or argued. Conclusions are usually written in a present simple tense. ठीक है, सिंपल, आई मीन प्रेजेंट सिंपल टेंस जो है वो उस मैनर से उसको लिखना चाहिए. And there should be interlinking with each and every step of your research. There should be interlinkage between your, I mean आपका टाइटल कुछ और बोल रहा है और आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट कुछ और बोल रहा है, और आप मेथड्स में कुछ और ही लिख रहे हो और आपके रिजल्ट्स कहीं और जा रहे हैं. ये रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए आपके एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में. There should be clear interlinkage between each and every like a concept or words or anything that you have used applied in your research. so that there will be higher chances of your abstract to be accepted for different prestigious conferences as well as publications as well. ठीक है, so ये सारी चीजें आपको definitely you will have to keep in mind. Now keywords are also something which is very very important and largely written in the abstracts. You should be able to write the exact and clear keywords of your abstract. So if your paper will be published, you might have to add a list of keywords at the end of the abstract. These keywords should reference the most important elements of your research to help potential readers find your paper during their own literature searches. तो आप जब भी आप लोग भी कीवर्ड्स डाल के कुछ सर्च करते हैं ना पेपर्स आपके लिए, सो आपको भी उसी कीवर्ड्स को लेकर आपको पेपर्स मिल जाते हैं ना, वैसे ही दूसरों को, जो दूसरे रीडर्स है, उनको भी आपका पेपर कौन से ऐसे कीवर्ड्स है जिसकी वजह से दूसरों को इजीली आपका पेपर फर्स्ट या सेकंड या थर्ड इसमें भी रैंक में ही मिल जाएगा. ऐसे कीवर्ड्स आपको, कैची कीवर्ड्स विच आर मोस्ट रिलेवेंट टू योर पेपर and which can definitely while searching they will give a immediate result of your paper. ऐसे keywords जो है वो आपको आपके abstract से जो निकल रहे हैं you should be able to identify them and you should be able to write them at the end of your research under the title keywords. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Any more, anyone else who would like to say yes, no, or maybe share anything? Subhadev, how about you? Okay, this I can see some message here. Okay, got it. ठीक है. I'm resharing the screen. Okay, screen. I hope it is visible. So, what exactly? I mean, what does your abstract should not contain? आपके abstract में क्या नहीं होना चाहिए? That that we will see in this slide. As I said in the first slide itself, a catchy introductory phrase, provocative quote, or other sentences to grab the reader's attention. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए. ओके, लेंदी बैकग्राउंड और कॉन्टेक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन. बहुत बार क्या करते हैं हम लोग, आधा जो ये है पेज जो है वो बड़ा बैकग्राउंड भी देते बैठते हैं. नो, दैट शुड नॉट बी देयर. बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्टेक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन भी देने की जरूरत नहीं. अज्यूम दैट लाइक दे नो दैट. आप बेसिक से स्टार्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. मतलब वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के ऊपर अगर कुछ लिख रहे हो आप, तो आप उसमें बताते मत जाओ, उसका डेफिनेशन मत डालो. वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट मींस दिस सोशियो इकोनॉमिक एंड कल्चरल लाइक डेवलपमेंट ऑफ वुमेन्स. सो वो जो इंटरलिंक, ये अलग अलग डेफिनेशन, वो डालने की जरूरत नहीं है. लोगों को, बहुत सारे लोगों को पता होता है, राइट? स्टार्ट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली you have done. I mean, what exactly your problem is about. अननेसेसरी एडजेक्टिव्स भी हम लोग डालने की बहुत ज्यादा कोशिश करते हैं, जिससे क्या होता है, एक तो आपका टाइम भी जाता है और वो मैच होता है या नहीं होता है आपके पूरे एब्स्ट्रैक्ट से या आपके पूरे उस पैराग्राफ से, तो एटलीस्ट. सो दैट ऑल्सो यू शुड डेफिनेटली अवॉइड. A repetitive information. Sometimes what happens, your abstract is a very short summary of your entire research, right? So within that very short summary, if you repeat everything or some of the things, then it seems like you are again not giving, you are not being clear about the results, or you are not being clear about the methodology, or maybe sometimes you are not clear about the objectives also. That kind of feeling or that kind of impression your abstract may give. So thereby you should avoid unnecessary adjectives repetitive information. Otherwise, that will definitely uh, uh, give a negative pointers to your abstract. Sometimes acronyms, or sometimes abbreviations. These are all some of the very things which we always try to write in our abstract. References to other literature. So this is something which is not at all needed. So as per this, according to this, we sometimes start with that kind of sentences, no? That as per so and so, the uh, definition of women empowerment is this. No, not necessary. Okay. So references to the other literature, say something like current research shows that, or studies have indicated that. इसको लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Again, incomplete sentences. Your sentences should be completed, precise, and clear. Okay. Terms that may be confusing to the reader. Sometimes you definitely those terms would be very, very important, but you cannot expect the reader will understand it very, very easily, no? Right? So it should not be confusing to the readers. Maybe sometimes you assume that your readers are new in the domain also. So उसको कैसे clear करोगे? So your readers could be variety of readers, right? Some of the readers will be definitely master in that, expert in that particular theme or domain. Some of the readers, kind of you people, like those who are students, interns, or PhD scholars. Some readers, they are completely laymen's. They don't have any understanding. They don't even know research. ऐसे भी रीडर्स हो सकते हैं. सो इन सबको ध्यान में रख के एक काइंड ऑफ ऐसा ढांचा बनाना है आपके एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का जो क्लियरली और वेरी सिंपली सबको समझ में भी, साइंटिफिक भी होना चाहिए और क्लियर भी होना चाहिए, रीडर्स फ्रेंडली भी होना चाहिए. ठीक है. साइटेशंस टू अदर वर्क्स नीड नॉट बी देयर. हम इन टेक्स्ट साइटेशंस करते हैं ना, या फिर हम कभी कभी ये करते हैं, कोटेशंस यूज करते हैं, सो नॉट नेसेसरी. Any short image or illustration, figure, or table or references to them should also not be there in the abstract. ठीक है. Images, illustrations, figures, tables, references should not be there. It should be avoided. Now here is one of the sample abstract which I have like referred, or maybe you can probably just, I mean, this is an example. There are n number of abstracts which can be followed. So how did this person have started with? India currently hosts 49% of world's diabetes burden, with estimated 72 million cases into 2019. The complex cascade of events which leads to cellular malfunction in response to high levels of glucose culminates upon formation of advanced glycation or end products. So this is something which is you are talking about in brief about the introduction about the this thing your abstract. Okay. One second. There is some disturbance at my screen. Okay, so let us get back. So this is how then materials and methods. So in this study we estimated this like this was something which is kind of a very medical kind of research or health kind of research. So in this you may not get so many ideas, but if you are writing a social science or reading a social science specific abstract, that we can definitely I will show you some other example also in the at the end of these slides. So this is how your abstract should look like. So maybe something like this also. This research investigates how mining activities affect tribal lifestyles in Jharkhand, a state with abundant mineral resources, and emphasizes the need of policies that will support future development and coexistence. The socio-economical, environmental, and cultural underpinnings of tribal life in the state have undergone tremendous change as a result of exploitation of natural resources. Three prominent Jharkhandi tribes, the Asuras, Santals, and Orans, each have distinctive rituals, traditions, and means of livelihood. Due to their existence, extensive cultural heritage, or and close links to the land, these tribes are especially susceptible, and so these are this kind of precise and clear abstract should be written while preparing your abstract. Now, another thing about the abstract which is coming out nowadays in most of the prestigious conferences, and that example I'll show you here itself, that you are expected to write the extended abstract as well. Okay, so have you heard about have you written, any one of you written extended abstract?
No, sir, not yet.
Anyone? Once. Let me find out that one sample extended abstract. I'll just stop sharing the screen, and then we can probably find out. Reshare. నాకు phone देना है. एक मिनट दे लो ऊपर. Okay, now let us not waste time in that. So what I wanted to say is, you are also being asked nowadays some of the conferences which are at the, those who wanted to have somebody, those who wanted to have full papers of the authors or full papers of the presenters. They are expecting that sometimes what happens, we don't have a paper ready. क्या करते हैं बहुत सारे researchers या scholars, पेपर्स जो है वो तैयार भी नहीं होता है, बट बिफोर पेपर दे विल डेफिनेटली प्रिपेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, और मे बी स्टडी भी नहीं होता है, और वो क्या करते हैं, पेपर तैयार है करके दे अज्यूम, आई मीन अज्यूमिंग दैट दे हैव डन अ स्टडी, एंड दे देन दे send a abstract of 300 or maybe 250 words. So to avoid that kind of practice in the research domain or in the conference database that they are receiving, what they are asking the extended abstract, in which they are expecting the authors or the writers to, definitely talk about, in brief, you definitely talk about the research that you have conducted as an abstract, but at the same time you also extend that until the findings of your research. So that can be more than, that can be around 800 to 1000 words as well, or maybe sometimes to 1200 words as well. So that is kind of a full concept of your entire paper, or that is kind of a full concept of your entire research as well, right? So thereby they are asking you, or they are expecting that if the author writes one and a half, or maybe 1200 words abstract, that means the researcher can write a paper as well. So that assurance, or that kind of confidence, the conferences or the selection committee may get, and thereby they are expecting to write an extended abstract. So that means आपका जो 25% of your paper writing, that they are like completing through you only, at the phase of abstract writing itself. ठीक है. सो आपके एब्स्ट्रैक्ट बनाते समय ही आप लोग 25% आपका जो ये है पेपर है वो आपका बन रहा है. So that's a good thing, right, for you also and for the conferences also, to get more confidence about your research. So that means these kind of trends or these kind of practices nowadays are largely followed by universities like Symbiosis. Symbiosis also, I think, asks. I have seen some of the conferences that are organized in Symbiosis, or maybe some of the conferences like in TISS, IRMA, or like good, this kind of good universities, whether they are private, government, or semi-government, doesn't matter. But good universities, good conference organizing committees, what they are expecting, if they wanted to go ahead for the publication as well. So they are expecting the extended abstract from the scholars, from the researchers, so that they will get a confidence that this particular person have not just randomly written the abstract. The person, whoever is submitting an abstract, he or she has definitely conducted a study. He or she has a, content, or maybe basic structure of his or her paper is ready, so as he is sending the extended abstract, right? So this is what is being expected. So you are now should be also ready with these kind of practices as well. So these kind of practices are largely expected in in the conferences, not in the journals. Okay, is this clear? Here, is there any concern, or is there any doubt that you would like to share? Nothing as such, right? Sheetal, anything? I mean, I just want a response now. Okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah. So what I will do, I will just briefly start with the secondary data analysis कैसे करते हैं, and then probably we will see how much time we will have for that. If not that covered in that, I mean, I'm sure it will not be able to, we will not be able to finish that in just 10-15 minutes, but at least we will start discussing about it. Or maybe what we can do, we can start with, I mean, just for the, since we don't have time today, what we can do, we can just briefly start with writing a research paper, and then in the next class probably we can have a full 1 hour discussion on this only. Is this visible, Shital?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So how to write a research paper? Research paper writing is something which is very, very crucial, right? Maybe I mean, it is not so difficult also, but and but for that there are some conditions. If it is not so difficult, with conditions it is difficult. So what are those conditions? What are those preparations? What are those readiness that should be there in your research? I know this will be the later stage of your research, or your like whatever research that you are doing. This will be definitely the later stage, but आपको पहले ही अगर पता चलता है कि आपका रिसर्च इस डायरेक्शन में जाना है, आपको पहले ही पता चलता है कि आपको पब्लिश भी करना है कुछ, सो आप अभी से उसको प्रिपेयर करोगे, अभी से आप उसमें उस तरह से उसके ऊपर आप काम करोगे, आपके थीसिस के ऊपर, आपके जो करंट स्टेजेस वॉट एवर यू आर फॉलोइंग, उसके ऊपर अभी से अगर उस डायरेक्शन में काम करोगे, तो डेफिनेटली यू आर at least 50% ready to write your research article, right? So thereby, even though it is quite early to tell you to how to write a research paper, since you are in the project writing phase only, but let me tell you this, you should be introduced or inducted with this as well at the beginning only, so that you are writing your thesis also keeping in mind that you are writing a research paper also immediately after your thesis is completed. Or maybe some of you, those who are in PhD, those who are the research scholars, they should to definitely should be should know, I mean, should start writing their research paper also from now onwards, even though they have not completed their research, based on the literature review, based on the secondary literature, or based on the any data that they have. With that, they should start like putting down on the paper itself, so that that will be the early stage of their research writing. So as I said, even though it is quite early to tell you this, this is very important, because you are writing your thesis, or you will be writing your thesis in next few months, few days, few weeks. I don't know what is the stage of your research as of now or at the moment, but when whatever is the stage of your research at present, you should know the structure of research paper. You should know the structure of you should know how to write a research paper, so that you will be ready to write a research paper immediately after your this thing, your PhD. So what are the like early stages? Like what happens usually, uh, we I mean vice versa. Sometimes we have a paper ready in our laptop, based on our ideas, based on our research. We have made a paper ready, and we wanted to send it to the journal that we have to find out uh, on the online platforms, which can publish your article, right? Sometimes what happens, you have a thesis ready, you have a research ready, but you will have to wait for a call for papers from the conferences, from the publishers, publishing houses. So what you should, I mean, it is depend upon the situation, it is depend upon the like that particular situation of your research, whatever it is. So now what you can do, keep in mind that you have a call for paper open from, let's say, from Spinger publishing house, or let's say from Symbiosis, one of the conference, international conference that they have organized, and the theme of the conference is so and so. Based on that theme, you will have to write a paper. So you will have to decide whether your study or whether your research will fit into the themes that are given by the conference committee, or that are given in the brochure or not. So that identification has to be done by you, and if it is fitting, then you definitely have to focus on specific subject or a class, focus on a particular place, region, sometimes focus on certain time period, focus on certain aspects. So these are all, like different areas, or different aspects, or different components that has to be kept in mind while, uh, while at the very very beginning, or at the very very initial stage of your writing your topic or research, sorry, article. So sometimes what happens, if the conference is at the international level, and that too in some other country, so you will have to keep in mind that whether you are focusing only in Maharashtra, or only in West Bengal, or only in Delhi NCR, whether, and if it is an international conference, and whether the paper has to be at the international level, then whether it has a regional component in it or not, has also to be kept in mind. So thereby, place, region, subject, class, time period, aspect, all of these things becomes very very important while writing or choosing your topic of your paper as well. Okay, what aspect you are focusing on: social, legal, medical, ethical, biological, psychological, economic, political, philosophical, etc., whatever it is, that has to be kept in mind while beginning your beginning the thoughts of writing your research article. Okay, then whether you are focusing on specific population, would you like to focus on some gender, or maybe some, whatever is the like criteria, or age group, or occupation, ethnicity, nationality, education attainment, species, or anything. So what is your focal point in that particular article? That also you'll have to keep in mind while choosing the idea, or the topic, or the problem of your paper. Okay, then focusing on a relationship with two or more topics, or focusing on or maybe you would like to combine that, or you would like to do the kind of comparative study analysis. These are all very very important and very very basic fundamental questions, or fundamental aspects that has to be kept in mind while beginning beginning to write or choose a topic of your article as well. ठीक है. So this has to be kept in mind if you are deciding to write an abstract. Outline, in the outline you should be definitely follow the standard format is given by the publication houses also, but in general what it should be there, or what outline should be there in your research paper is like abstract, ye to hona hi hai, then introduction or thesis statement. Thesis means, thesis means in, like, even though we call it thesis, but thesis means in a very specific notion, it is an idea, by the way. So thesis is what is the idea statement. Okay, so thesis का जो meaning होता है वो idea होता है, right? So what is the idea statement, what is that is like overall, that is introduction only. Okay, so that should also be precisely and very strongly written. Then lit review, that is literature review, methodology, results, discussion, conclusion, references, appendices should be there. Okay. So what we will do, this is just the beginning. I will go through this, or I will like explain this to you in the next session. Probably we can have in coordination with Hemangi ma'am. But maybe in the next class we will largely focus on how to write a research paper. Okay, I think we should stop here. Anything anybody would like to share?